Guten Tag, Algebra Half students. This is lesson 114 on probability, part 2. Our first example is coin tossing 3 times. What is its probability of it coming up heads every single time? Well, there's 2 possibilities when I flip a coin, heads or tails. Well, so there's only one head. So there's 1/2 of a chance the first time, there's 1/2 of a chance the third time, and there's 1/2 of a chance the second time. Kind of mix that up, see if you caught it. So what I do is I go 1/2 times 1/2, 1 times 1/2 is 1/8. So there's 1/8 of a probability that it will come heads 3 times in a row. And if I did this 5 times in a row, it'd be 1/2 times 1/2 times 1/2 times 1/2 times 1/2. Okay, second example. A coin is tossed 4 times. Every time it comes up heads. What's the probability on the 5th time it will be heads? Well, you're only flipping it that one time. There's 2 possibilities. It's going to be heads, so there's only 1/2 of a chance, 1/2. This is A in your practice. I have a spinner, kind of sorry looking, but it's okay. It says the spinner is spun. What is the probability of stopping on 3, 5, and 1 in that order exactly? Well, there's 8 possibilities. There's only one 3, there's only one 5, and there's only one 1. So there's 8 possibilities, 1, 1, and 1. So I go 1/8 times 1/8 times 1/8 equals 1/512. This is your lesson for 114. I'm going to pause it and put up here number 115 and go through that. Hopefully you're ready to do your math lessons this week, and we will see you in just a bit. As soon as I pause it. Okay, we're back. Lesson 115, dealing with polygons, their congruence and their transformation. I have in big red letters here, read the lesson. There's a lot of information I can't put on here. Most of this, it's a review. It's talking about different types of polygons, the shapes, how many sides, angles, all kinds of things that you're going to need for this lesson. So read it through and maybe even read it a couple times. Okay? Also, in this lesson, you draw every figure that is there. Every figure, because it's going to be important in answering some of the questions. Okay, so this lesson deals with polygons. A polygon is a closed figure with sides of line segments. A polygon would not be a circle. A polygon would not be a shape that has any type of half circle. This would be a polygon. This would be a polygon. Notice there's straight edges. There's 2 types of polygons, convex, concave. Cave should be your clue. Notice how it caves in, okay? And to be able to tell the difference, if I can draw a line inside of a polygon without it ever leaving the polygon and re-entering, it's convex. This one is concave because notice if I draw a line, it leaves the polygon, re-enters the polygon, leaves the polygon, so this is a concave because they're going to ask you to identify that. So here's an example. It says identify polygons. This is A. It looks like a square. Notice those little hash marks means that all the sides are the same, all got 90-degree angles. This lesson really gives students fits because they have to give every possibility of what type of polygon it is. This particular one is a convex polygon. It's a regular quadrilateral, which means that all the angles are the same and all the sides are the same. It is a rectangle. It is a rhombus, fits the definition. It is a square, fits the definition, and it is a parallelogram. So it is all those. If you miss one of those or you put too many, it's going to be wrong. So be very careful, look at them closely. The second part of your lesson deals with translation, rotation, and reflection. This is where drawing the diagrams and these shapes you have to do. A translation is when you have the one in your book and you're just redrawing it the same exact way. That's a translation. Every one of these problems will at least be a translation. Rotation is when you take the original and you rotate it. Notice that my 90-degree angle went from here to here, from this one to there. A reflection is like having a mirror here. It's reflected on the other side of it. So here is I, and they want me to identify what is going on. First, I had to redraw it on my paper, so it's a translation. Second, it was a reflection. If I look at this, it was reflected over here, and then it's turned sideways through a rotation. So this one would be a translation, reflection, rotation. So just look at those. It doesn't matter the order in which I put these. They don't really care about that. And it doesn't bother me if you would have written it as reflection, rotation, translation. That's not the order in which you would have done it. So it might be best if you do that. Depends on what teachers you have in the future on that. So this covers this lesson. There's a lot of information. Please read it. Please look at it. Students find that it's not that hard. This is the most difficult part, is making sure that you get all of the possibilities of those polygons. Okay, I'm going to pause this and go to the next lesson, and we'll see you there. Okay, back again. Lesson 116, dealing with area, your favorite, you guys, of parallelograms and trapezoids. Remember, the formula for all parallelograms is base times the height. Okay, so your base times your height. Okay, for trapezoids, it is 1/2 the base and the height of part 1 plus 1/2 times the base and the height of part 2. Here is a parallelogram. It also could be considered a trapezoid. But notice my bases for my top and bottom are the same measurement. My height is over here. I cannot use my slant height. I've got to use the height that they show. So I'm going to go 7 times 10 is 70 centimeters squared. Well, here's a parallelogram that is a trapezoid. Notice that it's got two different bases of length. So I know my height is 8. I have to divide the original. This line was not there to begin with. So you're drawing the diagrams that are in your book, remember. So I have to split it in half. And I have two triangles now. So now I'm going to go 10 times 8 divided by 2 equals 40. Okay, 10 times 8, 80 divided by 2 is 40. 8 times 6, or 6 times 8 divided by 2 is 24. I add those two shapes. I get 64 inches squared. So remember, if you've got different numbers here for trapezoids, you're going to have to do it 2 times, split it in half, and multiply, and then add. Okay? Most students, this is not too bad. It's pretty easy to follow. Make sure that you write your problems. I'm also noticing that we seem to be doing very well on odds, but we miss a lot of evens. That might be a clue that maybe we're just getting the answer out of the back. I'm not sure. So let's make sure that you're doing both and doing it to the best of your ability. If you have problems and questions, please ask. I'm here every day during the day. All right, that's the end of this lesson. Enjoy these 3 lessons, and we will see you this next week on another video.